So with hypothyroidism is when your thyroid gland, which is somewhere here, it isn't producing the hormones it's supposed to produce.
My mom was told that I'm not gonna last. I'll be dead in within 6 months, because it was the first time they saw me disability. They're like, wow, what is this? I've never seen someone like this before. Everything that I know today, I can say it's mostly because of my mom. She's always believed in me. Whatever that I do, she will support me. Take care of yourself. Have self-care. That is big on me. You should take care of yourself.
Welcome to Wellness Catch Up. We are here with another guest of our podcast, and I'm so excited, guys. I can't even contain my excitement. I'm very excited. I've got Kyle. Someone that I've met in varsity that's a graphic designer. He's a lot of things. He's a friend. He's a graphic designer. He's a disability awareness advocate, and I'd like to welcome him to our podcast. Hi, Kyle.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
I'm so excited to be here, man.
Really?
I couldn't wait after you invited me. I was like, hey, I can't wait to be there.
I'm excited. Literally, I remember the first time I met you on campus, but I was just shy. I had blonde hair. I don't know if you remember me.
I don't really remember, but
2019, I had blonde hair. I didn't have a lot of friends though, but I was very observant.
Yeah.
And I'd always just look at you. I think at some point you had blonde hair as well.
Yeah, I did also have. Yeah.
What an era. I remember seeing you and I was like, this guy is so confident. Like one day I'm going to do something with this guy. And I didn't have a podcast at the time.
Yeah.
I would tell my partner that I want to work on radio. When I went to Boston Media House, that was my goal. Radio.
Yeah.
I just want to be on radio. But then as time went, obviously discovering things like podcasting, I was like, well, this is the radio in your pocket. Yeah. This is what I'm going to do, Yeah. And I'm glad I continued with that goal. And here we are, season 3. I was like, I'm going to have Kyle. So I'm very excited to have you here. Yeah. But I'd love for you to introduce yourself formally to people and where the awareness stuff and advocate stuff come from. And I know you're also a motivational speaker. So I'd love for you to touch on that. Just give us a nice summary on who you are.
Well, I'm going to start with saying what my name is Tembekile Funani Info. Kyle is a nickname. Mostly it's the stage name. When I started DJing, that's when I got the name Kyle.
You're a DJ also?
I used to DJ, I used to also rap a bit. But So I'm Tembekile Funani. I'm from Val, Sebokeng. And I moved to Sandton for varsity. That's when I moved and I started studying for graphic designing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I grew up in Sebokeng. I studied in Moshate Secondary School. Primary, I went to Ipashuling. Yeah.
So you're Sotho?
Yeah, I'm Sotho. Give us Sotho.
Okay.
So thing is that
yeah.
A lot of people ask me that because my name is Tembekile Funani, which is Xhosa. Yeah. So my dad is Xhosa, but I grew up talking Sesotho.
Okay.
Because of my mom.
Makes sense. Your mom is Sotho.
Yeah, my mom is Sotho.
Makes sense.
We grew up talking Sesotho. That's why I speak Sotho very well.
This
I can understand
this morning I was like, should I polish my Zulu or Xhosa? I don't know. Because like Mopedi.
But Mopedi is Sotho. That's Amelana. So yeah.
And I'm a girl from Limpopo. So like Mopedi. But I'm glad I got to finally meet you in person, get to talk to you.
Yeah.
Where did the motivational speaking thing start?
Okay.
I'm very curious about that.
Okay. Before I talk about how I got to motivational speaking, can I start with how I started being out there, being Kyle?
Yes.
In the limelight.
The birth of Kyle.
Yeah, the birth of Kyle.
Yes.
Because that's where it started. Me being Kyle, that's when I was like, oh, you know what? People notice me, people see me. Let me just be a motivational speaker then. So me being Kyle started when I discovered that I'm a good creative. Yeah. So I started drawing. I used to draw a lot. But, firstly, when I started drawing, I used to draw as, it's a hobby. As a kid, you draw, cartoons and stuff, right? Then, as I went on, that's when I started, taking seriously now, where I used to draw, school kids' shirts. Whenever they want something, I'll draw for them. Also design posters for the school. So now when people got to see me, they got to, there's a person called Kyle, and he's good at drawing.
Yes.
And art. That's when now I started also doing rapping. That's when I started rapping, started rapping. And that's when I got a lot of eyes. Then as time went, between my rapping, I used to write poetry where I motivate people with my poetry. That's when it started. For me to take it seriously, now I'm a motivational speaker, it was because of this other lady called Dora. She'll pick me up and be like, hey, don't you wanna like go and motivate school kids? And I'm like, yeah, I'm game. So we used to do that a lot, go to schools and motivate school kids.
That's the thing. That's the thing about you, Kyle. I'm always just like the confidence. Like I feel like you've never said no to any opportunity that ever came your way.
Yeah.
And like, where does that confidence come from?
My mom. My mom played a huge role on building my character. Yeah. Everything that I know today, I can say it's mostly because of my mom. You know, she's always believed in me. Whatever that I do, she will support me. Even graphic designing, she didn't know what is that, but she was like, "Go for it. You love it. Go for it. Let's go. You know, I'll pay for everything. Whatever you need. Whatever you know." I remember even growing up as I was a DJ, right? I used to visit my friend for me to be able to DJ. I used to visit my friend, practice there. You know, whenever we have a gig, I used to like borrow some speakers from friends. And she was like, "Oh, you love this. Let me buy you a sound." She bought me like the whole sound system. You know, sometimes she even encouraged me to go to like the mall, you know, just open up a small on the stage and DJ.
So your
so
mom
people
is our next guest on the podcast. Kyle's mom's coming to explain where she got that energy from and that strength. Do you have
her
siblings?
believing in me, yeah, I do have. I have 3 siblings.
That's even worse then, because if you're the only child, we'll be like, yeah, okay, all that attention went to you. You have siblings, and she was still able to give off that love and confidence builder that she was to you. That's amazing. I have so much respect for you.
They also do stuff. Even today, they support me. Wherever I go, my 2 little sisters, they're always there. Just for that today, they went to Durban, so they couldn't be here. They're celebrating my mom's birthday, by the way.
Oh, happy birthday, Kyle's mom.
So yeah, they also wanted to come here with me. They're always there for me. They're always supporting whatever that I do. Yeah.
Because like, I was very like astonished by the confidence you have, even on campus. Like I never spoke to you because we weren't studying the same course. So we wouldn't be in any like lectures, the same lectures. So there weren't moments where we could clash, but every time I'd see you in the common places on campus, like the confidence, you don't even have to say anything. But I was like, that's a person that's very sure of himself. Like you don't need validation from people.
Yeah.
And it shocks me, Kyle. Like, I don't know. There's something, you just need to give us your secret code.
So, okay.
Because men struggle with confidence.
Yeah. For me, I would say the whole confidence thing comes from me accepting the person that I am. You know, I know my weaknesses, I know my struggles, I know my strengths. You know, I just accept the way I am and I embrace the person that I am. I don't try to be someone else, you know. So that's how I get my confidence. I'm comfortable with being me, you know, being Kyle. That's how I am. And also people also give me motivation to be confident of myself, you know. I'll be walking in a mall, someone will come just walk up to me and be like, "Hi, what is your name?" "I'm Kyle." "Oh, nice to meet you, Kyle. Here's 100 rand. I'm like, "What? Why are you giving 100 rand?" It's like, no, for just being here, for just, you know, walking around, like being normal like other people. That motivates me. I'm like, wow, okay. So, yeah.
People are kind.
People are so kind.
People are so kind out there. Nice. I love that. And I also want us to touch on the disability awareness advocate side of things.
Yeah.
In when was it? In 2016, my mom was like really sick. And we didn't know what the problem was, you know?
Yeah.
And she would like literally have seizures and would have to rush her to the hospital. Every time we'd go to the hospital, they give her meds that say she has low calcium. And then they give her meds, she comes back home.
Yeah.
A few months down the line, she has another episode. And every time it would happen with me, with her, and it's just the two of us in the house. And it was very scary. I'm the last born. I'm the last born. And my mom would have these seizures that seemed like epilepsy, but I also wasn't sure. I was just told, if she falls, this is what you do. But it was very traumatic for me as a kid because we also don't know what's wrong, you know? But then as time went on, the last episode that she had, she literally almost died. She literally almost died. She even bit her tongue. There was a moment where there was a pause and I thought she was dead. Like my dad looked at us. My sister was 9 months pregnant that day. I remember like she was like about to pop.
Yeah.
And my dad looked at us to a point where I think the look that he gave us, I'll never forget it. It was as if he's saying, "There's nothing I can do. It seems like, you know, she stopped breathing." And we called the ambulance. The ambulance was taking time. My dad then took her to the hospital. And I don't know if she was in a coma or what, but she was alive. She was alive. We thank the Lord. She was just not conscious of what's happening around her. And later on, she was also taken to, transferred from Edenvale Hospital to Johannesburg Hospital.
Yeah.
And they found out she has hypothyroidism. See?
I don't really know what's that, but
So that's where the awareness, that's why I relate so much with awareness of the different syndromes, sicknesses, illnesses, disabilities, everything that we have in this world. We always know about high blood pressure, diabetes, the common diseases and stuff. But then with this situation that my mom has, and it's something that is not curable, she needs to be on meds for a long time. I think you would probably there's hypothyroidism and hyperthyroidism. So with hypothyroidism is when your thyroid gland, which is somewhere here, it isn't producing the hormones it's supposed to produce, which help with your bones. It helps with your muscles, because every time my mom would have a seizure, like it's as if like her bones are like, I don't know, like stiff. She can't move, So muscles as well. And then hyperthyroidism is when your thyroid gland is producing excessive hormones. And that's when you see people with lumps, people that have large lumps on their neck. That's hyperthyroidism. So my mom is hypo. So she has to be on meds so that she has those hormones and her body can function well. And with that situation, the fact that I had to go on Google now, she's sick, she's in hospital. I'm going on Google now to research about this. What is she supposed to eat? Like, how is she supposed to live with us? The things we need to look out for when she's about to like have a seizure, or when to notice maybe she wasn't taking her meds well. There's symptoms that show, because she would have cramps. Like she would say, my hands are very like stiff. And we didn't know that that's a sign that something is off. So with those kind of things, it really showed me that in South Africa, and mostly within the Black community, we are not aware of the different diseases, the different syndromes, the different disabilities that are around. So that's also one of the main reasons I have you here. As an advocate, I thought this would be a platform. The more platforms we have for people to share, the better, So I wanted you to share more of your story and how that came about,
After what you just said right now, you got me thinking now,
Really?
Yeah. So with my disability, my disability is very rare. Like it's super rare. A lot of people don't know about my disability. So I think last time I checked, I think only like 1 in a million would have it.
I also had to do research after watching your interviews and the speaking that you've done, like all your work that's online. I had to dig and find and watch and do research. But I'd love for you to explain it, because I believe you'd explain it better.
Yeah, so it's not even just about my disability. People need to know about like a lot of disabilities, so that they don't assume, And I feel like a lot of Black people, most of the time, if you're different, first thing they think, bewitched. So I think it's important that we know there are different types of syndromes out there, so that we don't just jump into that thing of, this one, it's, it's bewitched and all that. So with my disability, when I was born, thing is that my mom was told that I'm not gonna last. I'll be dead in within 6 months, because it was the first time they saw my disability. They were like, wow, what is this? I've never seen someone like this before. Until I met these other doctors that did like research, and they were like, oh, okay, there's this other person that has had it before, and this thing can be treated and all that. So for me, whenever I had a lump, I had to go for surgery so that they can remove that lump, so that it doesn't overgrow and all that.
What's the name of the syndrome?
It's called Proteus Syndrome.
Proteus Syndrome.
Yeah, Proteus Syndrome. It's where your bones, it's where your cells, it can be skin cells, it can be your bone cells, where they overgrow.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So for me, it affected my back and my left knee. So that's why I'm kind of like, I have like a big back with a bit of,
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very curious on, your mom must be a guest on the podcast, because I also have so many questions that I think she would be able to answer, on how she handled it as a parent.
Yeah. I was asking her not so long ago about, I also had like similar situation where I nearly died. It was, I think, 2 years ago, I nearly died. It was big. So I was admitted in hospital and they could not
Were
find
you unconscious? Did you collapse?
I was conscious until I got to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I was unconscious. So I kind of spent like a whole 3 days not knowing what's going on with me. My mom had to make decisions for me. Okay, should I operate or not? Yeah, it was super risky. It was like a 50-50 chances of me living for the surgery to happen, because they also didn't know what they were doing, They were like, oh, like, what should we do? Proteus Syndrome, it was messy. So I even asked my mom, how did she manage through all of that? Because she was during my recovery, she was so strong. She was jolly, happy, I could not tell that she was going through something. She was so, she was supportive, good. So I was like, how were you like dealing with the whole thing? And she was like, I didn't want to show you, but I was also going through a lot. I was talking to my mom also. She was also talking to her mom. And she was, she was saying that she'll cry sometime and she'll hide. Maybe she'll visit me.
She didn't want you to
She didn't want
see
me
that
to
hurt.
see that, Which
is that why? That's interesting. Is that why you're always just confident and you say yes to every opportunity? Do you have that? It feels like you have that. You only live once.
Yeah,
mentality.
I do.
Like
I
anything can
truly
happen.
do. Yeah.
So I'm happy to be here and do what I can.
Yeah, that's
I like that.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, I mean, for everyone though, like life is too short.
Exactly. I was about to say, it's this kind of mentality is even clearer for someone who has an illness that's not curable, or a disability, or a syndrome, or like a mental health issue.
Yeah.
Compared to someone who's just living without anything. But for the person that deems themselves as normal, life is also short, like really, really short.
Yeah.
You can just get shot or get in a car accident and then it's done, you know? So
which is why it's important to make most of the time you have.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do mostly things that you love, be out there.
Yeah, I mean, DJing, graphic design, motivational speaker.
That's also how you
advocate.
discover yourself though.
Yes, the more you try
I
things.
call it to verify myself. That's what I call it.
Really?
Yeah, I verify myself, I want to see what I'm capable of. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I try everything that I can so I can see if it's for me or it's not for me. Because if I don't try things, I will never know.
You'll never know. I'm very inspired by you. I'm highly inspired by you. Every time I check you out online, I'm like, if Kyle can do it, I have no excuse. I have zero excuses to not do the things I said I would do. Yeah. It's always just good to show up, and God has given us different gifts. Pursue them, see what works for you. I like that. Then I will revive myself. I like that. And this month is Men's Mental Health Month.
Yeah.
And looking at the confidence that you carry within yourself, like I'd love for you to share, even if it's 3 or 5 things that you think men should do to reach that level of confidence that you're on. What are the things you do to ensure that you're always like this? Because bad days are there. I would assume you also have those bad days, but how do you pick yourself up again? How are you? What are the things you do, or what would you advise other men to focus on in order to be confident?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let me speak for me. What I do.
Yes, what you do.
What I do is that now and then I treat myself. A lot of men don't do that for themselves. Men love treating people that are close to them. Protect, love, care, but start with yourself. So that's what I do first. I take care of myself. Sometimes it's funny. Sometimes I even take off myself, like maybe buy like an ice cream.
Solo dates.
Nyana. Buy like a small ice cream after like a long day of at work. Yeah. Men should do that also. They should take care of themselves before they can take care of others, Yeah, and also men should be vulnerable. They should be able to talk to people, Even if it's that one person, just be true to yourself and let other people know the true you, Even if, I feel like that's why now they call men hore bana le king babitsa hore ke di baby mama, like I'm not baby mama, I meant to say ke di bomma.
With the baby side,
yeah, ke bomma.
Yeah.
So because most of my friends were going to ke ngwana mama, ke bomma.
Yeah, soft.
Yeah, but I wouldn't call it soft. I would say ya homework so I can be open to her. It helps.
So she's your safe space.
She's my safe space.
That's beautiful.
I feel like that's what men should do also. Even if it's not your mom, find someone that you can be open with. It can be, mostly it's really hard to open up to other men.
To your boys.
To your boy, yeah. They laugh at everything that you say. If you get like yourself, like if it's not your partner, get yourself like a female friend, female bestie. Yeah.
That's nice. And then also touching on that whole softness, how would you, for example, I want to talk about masculinity, and I like that you touched on bomma, or being a soft man, a mama's boy, and how that's looked down on. My definition of masculinity, I don't just look at a man from physically how they look or money, because I know money also plays a big role. As a man, it's like, hey, if you don't have money, people don't consider you. But also look at masculinity. I'm very big on emotional intelligence. And I feel like a lot of men don't have that. You know, I feel like for me, that's a big part of masculinity. I'd rather be with a man, but and you know, throw tantrums. I'm very big on having high EQ as a man, but I also, that's just me and that's my female perspective, because I'm not a man, so I'll never know. So I wanted to know from you how you define masculinity.
Like you said, I totally agree with how you define it. And I'll just add on that also, a man must be able to, they should know how to be disciplined, you know.
Self-control.
Yeah, you must have self-control. And mostly our whole, take care of yourself, have self-care. That is big on me. You should take care of yourself. And also you must be able to lead with love, not fear, you know. Yeah,
I like
and
that.
protect people around you.
Lead with love and not fear. Maybe that's why a lot of men, some are not as confident or some are not as emotionally intelligent, because they're not taking care of themselves. They're not leading with love. And not having safe spaces.
I learned that from my dad, because that's how my dad is. Yeah, he takes care of good of us. Like we don't fear our dad. Whatever we going through, whatever we want to talk to him about, he has opened that space for us.
I like that. I like that. And I guess this brings us to the end of our episode.
Oh, that's so quick.
Like you need to come back for a part 2.
Yeah, I would love to.
I am inviting you again. At some point, you're going to come back. And I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope you guys have learned a lot. And I really love the whole awareness thing and being an advocate. I think from today, I'll also call myself an advocate, because I want people to learn more about the different illnesses, diseases, syndromes that we have in the country, because you never know, one day it might be your child or your cousin. And also how you treat people is very important. You know, to me, Kyle is normal. Kyle drives. He drove here, by the way, guys. Kyle lives in Senton. Kyle was a DJ. Kyle does a lot of things, you know, and I'm very, very proud of you. I'm inspired by you in many ways. And I really wish you the best.
Thank you.
Genuinely,
man. I really do appreciate that.
I feel like one day I'm gonna see you on a big screen or a billboard.
Hey,
I'll be driving, be like, guys, I know this guy. I'll be telling my kids, guys, I once interviewed him. You guys don't know this guy. He used to provide himself, and this is where he got. And I'm very proud of you. May you continue doing amazing work. Continue speaking. You know, never stop using your voice. You have such a great voice. You have a great story to tell. And I appreciate that about you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for joining.
And thank you also for inviting me. It was really nice talking to you. I enjoyed this conversation, man. And I can't really wait for that part 2.
Yes, no, we're doing a part 2. There's so much. I feel like with you, we didn't even touch on romantic relationships. We didn't even touch a lot more on being a speaker. There's just so much to talk about, but we'll do it in bits and pieces. You'll come back again and again and again. And maybe one of these episodes you'll come with your mom. That would be nice. We'll organize for her to get here. No, thank you guys for joining this episode. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I learned a lot, firstly, and I took a lot from Kyle. And I'm very, very grateful for this episode. I hope you also enjoyed it. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please rate the podcast, share it with people, love on it. And if you're watching us on TikTok, on IG, on YouTube, share with your friends, share with anyone that you feel needs to listen to this episode or watch this episode. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get notifications and you get to know once we've uploaded a new video. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. I love you guys so much. Have a blessed week. Bye.